Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakak Badash, and double honors to the apostles of the great millstone that told me when I know the day, and as well as giving you brothers your deserved salutations for forwarding this truth worldwide. Shalom to the Yak and Wagwaf Yam for supporting what we're saying, but most importantly, taking heed. Alright. On the side I say, and it's your brother Laban in regards to the topic of the MOTB system, which is being prepared and ready. And in the state of California, what they're preparing is this Digital ID rollout. And we're going to get right into this, man. As you can see, I'm on the route50.com. And this individual by Chris Steele, staff reporter, this is what he's brought out. And this is officially, as what we're going to bring out anyway, real news. All right, so yeah, let's get into it, man. It says by the end of this summer, California could introduce its digital ID to a limited number of residents who will be able to use them in airports and convenience stores to prove age and identity. California Gov. Gavin Newsom promised in his January state budget presentation a next level digital identification system, allowing residents to access their driver's license and their smartphones, We're going to do it like no other state has done it, he said at the time. And the advent of a digital ID, something that has swept through several states already, appears close for a portion of residents of the Golden State. Ajay Gupta, Chief Digital Transformation Officer at the California Department of Motor Vehicles, said that the digital ID should be available up to 170,000 people in the late summer as a part of an initial pilot. Legislation would be required to increase the number of residents eligible for the digital ID beyond that initial 170,000 got that added. So yeah, these are going to be the people that will join, that they wish that they can get to partake into this initial pilot. And if they do, then all they're going to do is promote this product to those that don't have it. And eventually other people are going to be feeling like they need to get involved in this because it's going to look very convenient. So whether you catch these people at an airport, as they've mentioned, and as well as convenience stores, they're going to basically show how this digital ID thing works out. All right. And what I also want to read as well is this too. Identity modernization for the U.S. state and local government. So this reads, state and local government are modernizing online systems to serve the residents through vastly improved digital services. They need to move fast without sacrifice security or convenience, while legacy approaches to identity and access management have held them back. Today's cloud-based IAM solutions can accelerate government innovation while improving overall security and reliability. To assess trends in IAM adoptions in SNL organizations across the U.S., Okta engaged Market Connections to conduct a survey to identify and to quantify the current state of identity, authentication, and security, challenges to the current implementation, current pain points and plans, and concerns over the changing system and processing. So as I read this, I think what they mean to say is that they're just trying to see if this thing is going to work the way it needs to work, in my own understanding of reading this anyway. So as well as it goes as far as to read, for 90% of SNL organizations having the ability to provide digital applications or services for citizens is important. One city municipal government respondent said, to fulfill our organization's objective, it is imperative that the agency's services are available through both physical and digital means. And it's going to work. They're going to get there because the Lord is going to fulfill every vision. And the most important vision, which is the focus, is the Mark of the Beast system coming into fruition. So they gonna roll this thing out, and it's gonna be in effect. All right, they already got the biometric systems. They already got the infrastructure and everything else. They got the towers in setting. So I mean, all they need to do is to basically come up with a you know, a great deal of a crisis to woo the people, as it is written that in the book of Revelations that he will cause all, both small and great. Okay, so I'll get there when I get there anyway. I'm jumping the gun a little bit. So yeah, let me read this too. This is from the metronews.co.uk, which is a UK based news outlet station, right? And this reads: digital IDs for all on the latest proposal from the former PM Sir Tony Blair. A single digital ID on your smartphone will help streamline access to public service, Sir Tony Blair has said. The former Prime Minister Institute for Global Change has today released a report calling for wholesale reforms to the end of era of slow, cumbersome government services. The ID is a simple identifier on your phone, accessed using biometrics, said Sir Tony. Speaking to Metro.co.uk, it's unique to you and enables you to interact with the government systems through one portal. It allows you to get all the data you need about yourself in one place. And that's all I'm going to read right there, because that's really the point. They want to connect the population to the government. That's always been the goal, isn't it? You know? And speaking about these smartphones, as I can remember going back to like maybe the early 2000s, you know, you had your mobile phones. And just to mention phones in general, you know, these phones, these hand-to-hand phones, mobile phones, were really invented for the sole purpose to graduate us to the implantable device. And why do I say that? Because in every phone, in order for that phone to be operable, or all phones to be operable, especially your mobile phones, you need a chip. Okay, and this chip allows for you to, you know, gather information, whether you're downloading information on your phone, or whether it's to, you know, get numbers, you know, be able to collect numbers so that you can obviously get access to your, you know, your family members or your friends or whoever it is, you know, your woman, all of this stuff, right? So that same chip which is inside the phone is going to be under the skin, and this is what what's name said. This is what this individual said. His name is Pekka Lundmark, which is the CEO of Nokia. And it goes as far as to read here. Speaking in Davos at the World Economic Forum annual meeting, Nokia CEO and World Economic Forum agenda contributor Pekka Lundmark said that smartphone tech will be incorporated into human bodies by 2030. And that's always been the goal. That's always been the plan. The plan has always been that right there. It's to get people hip to the idea of having an implantable device inside of your under your skin. Okay, just like I mentioned, that was the sole purpose of us having access to these phones, these mobile phones with the chips in them. And the way they make these phones nowadays, they made these phones so powerful to the point where it can reach internet services, and you can be on the internet. And so much so now, it's like the phones have become dependent upon. A lot of people are dependent on these phones. You see people outside and they look down with their phones intact. And I mean, I have to include myself too. They got us all hip into these phones, man. You know? But that was the agenda, to get us tied to these phones. And, you know, we've been with these phones for the past probably like maybe I would say more than 20 years. So, which is basically, I would say maybe 25 years, you know, which is a generation. So you have a whole generation that has been used to having phones, or mobile phones in this case, and that was all to condition us so that we can what? Be okay with being implanted with a chip, a literal chip. And this is where the mark of the beast prophecy comes all in. Okay? And as I'm going to read now, Revelations 13 and 16, and he cause of all, which is the few words which are important, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, and receiving mark in their right hand or in their thoughts. Because even right now as it stands, I mean, if you want an implantable device or an implant under your body, let me just simply put it that way. If you want an implant in your body, you can go right on ahead and do that. It's up to you. It's optional. But something is going to give to where they're going to persuade the public, just like how they persuaded the public under this COVID situation. They're going to sway the public with another crisis, which the term crisis means judgment, because I was in the New Testament somewhere, man. Somewhere I was in a particular scripture, so I looked at the word judgment, and the word there is crises, right? So all they need to do is come up with another crisis to get the ball rolling, and it's going to sway people to get the implantable device. In other words, the mark of the beast, okay? And speaking about that, what you have is you have some news that I want to show, and I don't know if this is real or not, but you have an abundance of news. Not abundance, I mean, I'm not going to exaggerate. I mean, you have a lot of news articles in regards to this topic of hackers from Russia, or China's hacking this, and etc. etc. If you type in hack or hackers, you're going to find a lot of news articles on that topic. And why is that? Because that could very well be the next psychological operation that can again sway the people to take this mark. And as well as you have even articles that involves hackers that can hack banks and everything. Like, why all of a sudden you're gonna have hackers hacking banks? Well, because it's going to be through the banks where the currency that you have is going to be changed to a digital one. They're going to force the world to a digital currency. All right, and with your digital currency, it's going to be in tandem with your chip, with all of your data inside of it as well, including. All right, and that's why they're trying to get it to work on these phones. And once they got the phones working with this digital ID stuff, then eventually it's going to work on your literal chip under your skin. Okay, so again, there needs to be probably a psychological operation for them to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark. All right, so and just to prove what I'm saying, because I don't want to just say what I'm saying and don't back it up. See, this is what I'm saying. Hacker gang clock published victims' names on dark web. Chinese spies breach hundreds of public-private networks. Security firm says U.S. Energy Department, other agencies hitting global hacking spree. Hacker gang, So I mean, there's a lot of news, and I was checking this out the other day too. And this is the one I'm talking. This is the one I was actually going to refer you brothers to, but they had this on there first. U.S. Energy Department, other agencies hitting global hacking spree. Yeah, so that's just the deal right there. I'm showing you that there's a lot of articles in regards to this topic of hackers. So this could very well be the crises they're going to very well use to sway the public, to cause them all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads. All right, and that no man might buy or sell, say that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, so if you don't have this implantable device by then you're out of the grid, because the goal is to connect you to the grid and to connect you to your government, so that your government can keep tabs on you and can remotely control you, if anything, and insert different information inside of you and have you act accordingly to. Because the goal is for these people to be gods. Just like this flamer said, man, that through this technology, humans can become gods, and as well as they can rewrite history and everything, and including write a new Bible. All right, but I'm gonna go into that though. I'm gonna go into that sometime later, Lord willing. That's another topic that I can speak on, because I got a lot of info on that too. So yeah, with this right here, I want to give all of the praise and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh Bashim Shah Bashim Quadash. And with that, I'm out. So